Back in the day, there was a quick, easy way to get your product noticed by the young whippersnappers. Not controversial enough to cause outright public outcry, but just enough so that kids would say to one another, "Dude, you gotta play this game. This guy totally says the fuck word in it." Yep, gratuitous swearing has moved many a merchandise, and at one time I was no exception. Divide by Zero put this out in 1995, and the demo tickled my ears in the most inappropriate manner. It even came with a 6-page comic book about how the protagonist was the sole survivor of an attack on his ship, and the resulting physical and mental wounds that ultimately drove his son to run away from home and his wife to suicide. This may be a tonal shift from the Innocent Until Caught series that the studio were known for, but it doesn't change much. It just means that all the laughs are unintentional. And there are laughs. So, 13 years later, I can afford and actually legally buy the game, so let's see if there's any more to this other than the profanity tornado I witnessed so long ago. The game begins, as it means to continue, with all the urgency of an alcoholic snail. We see an unknown pilot heading towards what I believe science defines to be a galactic space anus. To be honest, at this point I thought I put the trailer for Playmobil Universe on by mistake. He then heads up towards a nearby probe. Unfortunately, somebody left the automatic flash on, which blinds Playmobil Joe, sending him careening out of control and down into the anusy abyss. So soon after the tragedy, a giant backwards plasma rifle comes into orbit around a matte painting, and a scout ship is sent to escort a cargo container over. I don't know why it's called Tanuki though, it doesn't look anything like a raccoon. On board is Playmobil Joe's estranged father, Devlin McCormack. He's come to the station for the funeral, as that's where his son was working when he died. But he soon runs into some antagonism courtesy of Security Chief Ward.
This the guy? Patty the leprechaun? Drove his own wife to suicide. Take my advice, don't date this guy. You put your Irish nose where it's not wanted and I'll cut it off.
Irish? His Irish accent's about as good as Dave Perry's.
I must put him on my Christmas card list.
From here we head to the funeral.
To lose someone close to you, it hurts. Like no physical pain can hurt. But with time, the pain lessens.
See? I told you he was a head case.
Classic Ward. After the funeral, Paddy McCormack is sitting in his room when he gets a note under the door saying that his son's death was no accident.
It was murder. My God, it can't be true.
A meaningless accident is far more comforting.
But if it is, I swear I will kill whoever was responsible for Danny's death.
Oh, don't strain yourself trying to emote now, Devlin. We've not even started the game yet. So it's time for Devlin to find out who killed his son with his crack detective skills.
It's a table, full of circuits, probably.
Yes, well done. It's at this point you'll realise that the interface got redesigned to somewhere between minimalist and dipshit. Whilst games of this type normally give you a set of verbs to use on things, clicking on someone in Orion Conspiracy only brings up the verbs relevant to that character. For example, if you never have to give a character an item in the game, you'll never have an option to do so. If you do have to give them an item, you'll have a give option every time you interact with them, even if you don't necessarily get the item you need until hours later. This does save time and frustration by not having to try everything on everything else, but it often gives away the answers to puzzles before you even get a chance to realise there was a puzzle there. And yet the inventory items are done completely differently. If you have to use an inventory item on an object in the world, it doesn't display the option until you actually have the item that you need. Why don't they do that for both? Also, free tip, if you get the chance to talk to a corpse, don't. I'll explain why later. So now we have to go around asking every single character the same set of questions.
What is your job? What is your job? What is your job?
It does give us at least one instance of the same voice actor talking to himself.
Oh, you were at the funeral, weren't you? Yes, I was representing my company.
Daddy? He doesn't advance the plot, but we do learn that the base is split into two complexes run by competing companies. Kobayashi, the company McCormack's son worked for, and Megami Hudson, the other one. What bearing does this have on the actual plot? A lot less than it should, so Devlin goes to the Kobayashi scientists for some info. Talking to Roland, however, just gives you the information that he's a whiny little cunt sponge.
You got any chocolate on you?
Sorry, I'm right out.
Damn! I already used up my allowance for this week. Damn!
Anyway, Devlin's first clue comes when he talks to technician Bernard.
I'm chief technician.
Sorry. She tells you the purple swirly thing outside is called the Devil's Gate, which actually makes galactic spacey, and it's a great euphemism. Also, check the balls on this lady. Bitching out one of her subordinates when he's standing right fucking there.
He's lazy, devious, greedy, negligent.
Damn! If I didn't have my hand stuck in this poorly defined contraption, I'd totally slap your bitch face! Damn! Since Bernard doesn't know what could cause the 3 megawatt flare in question, the obvious choice is to go and see the station's engineer.
What's it like to work here?
It's shit. What's it like to go around asking dumbass questions? I was combat branch in the war. I refused promotion so as I wouldn't end up an asshole like the other officers.
Yeah, you sure dodged that bullet. So, Mayor here tells you the only thing that could cause a 3 megawatt flare would be a concussion charge. Everyone denies such a thing would be on board, but Roland says he'll tell you.
Well, Chandra makes pies real good, almost as good as my mom's. But he says I'll hog it all to myself.
You go see Chandra the cook, and he offers to make you a dish. This won't get him away from the pie in the kitchen, naturally, so first you have to go capture a rat in the caves and come back. Yeah. By this time your meal is finished and waiting for you in the rec room. Dunk the rat in the chicken korma, call Chandra Faru, and voila! He stands and stares dumbly at it while you go and raid his pantry for delicious pie. Well, I guess it's a good thing you didn't try and make ratatouille. You get the pie over to Whitey McCockmop, and he tells you that Roman was working with explosives. Ah, there we are.
I can see by your uniform that you're a technician.
I can tell by some of the pixels, and from seeing quite a few uniforms in my time. Normally she'd deny that she was using such things, but...
If Jay said it was okay, very well.
Do you remember who Jay is? I sure as hell don't. Roman tells you the concussion charges are used, but they're labelled as gauge 3 wrenches on the inventories. You find last week's inventory just lying around, and you have to compare it to the last one, which you get by talking to La Paz. That's the Frenchy lady who welcomed you on board. She's one of those strange characters who just wanders about the place, and always seems to be leaving a room just as you enter, or hiding behind a pillar so you can't fucking select her, or you accidentally click an exit and leave the room. And that's another thing. You never know where you're going in this game, because every exit is just labelled exit rather than the location it leads to. This wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have 3 identical floors of corridors to navigate. I would have probably had another 2 hours of footage if I hadn't made a map. The last time I had to do that, I was playing Scorpion Swamp. So you talk to La Paz.
Hello again.
Oh, hi.
Oh, Christ. Even in the future, Tommy was so mean. Anyway, she gives you the latest supply inventory, and kill fucking surprise, a concussion mine was stolen from the armory the day before Danny died. But only the captain and Ward Texas Ranger have access. Roland suddenly comes down with a bad case of plot convenience, and the doctor gets called away, allowing Devlin to rummage around on her computer. You find out from this that La Paz is pregnant, meaning Devlin can ignore learning who the obvious culprit of his son's death is, and go coerce La Paz into giving him access to Danny's possessions.
I know about your baby, but if it was your child that was dead, wouldn't you want to have his possessions without some company asshole telling you what you could or couldn't have?
Did I already mention this guy drove his son into running away and his wife to suicide?
You don't pull your punches, do you?
You're tearing me apart, Devlin! Searching Danny's possessions turns up love letters from one of his co-workers.
So now you know the truth.
Steve Kaufman, yes! The man who has had no bearing on the plot whatsoever up until now.
Why didn't you tell me?
Tell you what? That your son was homosexual? Gay? A faggot?
Kaufman is suddenly incredibly angry as Danny told him all about being estranged from his father, and automatically assumes that Devlin is an industrial strength homophobe. He storms off.
Danny, did you hate me that much?
Did you hate me so much that you turned gay? Not that Danny being gay would or should have any effect on his father's opinion of him. I mean, Devlin had quite clearly driven him away long before that, so it obviously had nothing to do with it. Devlin turns in for a snooze, only to be woken up with the disturbing news that Kaufman has been murdered. And not well. Of course Devlin gets blamed, because 2 people who weren't there said so, and the same person you blackmailed 5 minutes ago refuses to come to your defence. Ward locks you in the observation room until the next supply ship comes. Now, the puzzle in this room is what served as the game's demo, so my pre-adolescent ears were delighted with this opening salvo.
Then they're gonna take you away and fry your murdering ass, you son of a bitch.
Mind you, the first time you talk to Ward in the bar, you get this.
What do you do here?
Listen, Irish, we got niggers, kikes, slant-eyed spicks, and Asians all cooped up within spitting distance of each other. If it wasn't for me, we'd have all sorts of racial shit breaking out.
And yet it's here that Devlin says what is probably the best line in the game. Let me set this up for you. The door is locked, but since this room isn't a real prison cell, Devlin can block the only ventilation pipe into the room. The ship's computer can't let the air run out while somebody is in there, so it opens the locked door to restore the supply and frees Devlin. To which Big D says,
The one good thing about automated systems, you can confuse the fuck out of them.
Anyway, time to investigate Kaufman's bodies for clues. I'm just kidding. There's nothing useful at all in here. You can't even look at the body. To somewhere else! Back in the cargo freighter which brought you here in the first place, Devlin discovers the cocoon from aliens. But then the doctor comes in.
In 3 days, the cocoons will hatch, and perfect replicas of the Cerberus crew will emerge. Then the real crew will be terminated.
Suddenly, aliens! Devlin is about to run and tell everybody when...
Stay away from them!
Fuck you, lady. Devlin, run! Ah!
Oh shit, run away!
Hopefully there's enough power in this cable to fry that thing. Right. The power's back on. You want me? Come and get me.
Oh God. Buggering hell, that was stupid. I need a minute. Let's go.
What the fuck happened here?
I don't know.
Mayor doesn't want to warn the crew yet, as he thinks the captain will use this as an excuse to get him fired, and he still has a few hours left to fix it without anyone realising. But Roland overhears them from the next room, somehow, and flees on the cargo freighter with the cocoons on board. Devlin needs to somehow stop that ship. At least nobody else was nearby to have heard the screams, explosions, shuttle departing, or any of that. Shit. Devlin then heads for the command centre and destroys the freighter with the armory's laser turret, preventing the spread of deadly aliens throughout the universe and also getting rid of the most annoying dick weasel in this sector. Before Devlin can so much as do his pantsless victory dance, the captain comes in brandishing a gun. Now remember the comic when Devlin's crew all got killed except him? Guess who else was on that ship?
Oh, I did everything I could to save them.
You killed her, you bastard!
Anderson. Oh, God, then you must be...
Her husband.
To get revenge, he requested that Danny be transferred to the station, so that when the captain killed Danny, Devlin would know what it was like to lose the last person that meant anything to him. Devlin goads him into pulling the trigger, apparently as sick of the game as I was at this point. But then...
Bye, McCormack. Rot in hell! Ugh.
With that out of the way, they get back to fixing the station's engine. There's a part that needs replacing, and the only spare is out on the probe that killed Danny. Despite the chance that his lungs might give out in 0G, since they were torched in his accident, Devlin goes to fetch the...
You better get the 0G wrench attachment for the Scout.
Now, I didn't do so well with physics. Can somebody enlighten me as to what part of a wrench is based off gravity? You know, that would necessitate a 0G version of the tool? Anyone? Before I forget, I have to mention that talking to corpses thing from earlier. You can still click on the captain once he's been shot, and he's got options to either look at or talk to him. If you pick talk, your cursor disappears. Permanently. Even if you save and reload this point, once you've clicked that talk option, you are totally fucked. I mean, kind of spoilers for later in the game, but this is the only corpse you have this problem with. Not the only object you have a problem with, but we'll get to that later. After he gets the 0G wrench attachment, La Paz shows up and Devlin explains the situation. She takes it well.
Shit. If it's not one thing, it's another.
The other problem is that Ward's gone nuts. He's shouting about monsters and he's already killed 2 Megami Hudson people. Devlin's obvious expertise at human relations is needed, so they go to try and calm him down. We find him holding a grenade and pointing his gun away from any people, in fact straight at the wall, right into the camera. Oh shit, he saw us! Devlin actually does a surprisingly good job of talking him down, even managing to slip his middle name in there. Unfortunately, this bitch fucks it all up.
This is bullshit! Ward, give me that fucking grenade!
So yeah, the plot's gone a bit Hamlet. Pilot's dead, Ward is dead, Roman is pinned by debris, and Chandra chooses to die with his fiancée when the corridor inevitably decompresses. Devlin and La Paz leave the area, dead pilot in tow, and seal the doors from the outside. Corridors blow, dead bodies go wee. With that unpleasantness over, Devlin heads out in the scout ship to retrieve the engine part. 5 minutes of dull FMV later, he gets the part from the probe and starts heading home when he blacks out.
Do you read me, Devlin?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just blacked out. Roger that, La Paz. I'm coming in.
So when Devlin gets back, he's told that Megami Hudson have hacked into the station controls and shut off all life support outside their lab. They put their heads together to come up with a plan. Probably something like get in touch with Megami Hudson, explain what they know about the aliens, negotiate.
We can put a concussion charge on their power lines from the outside. It'll fuck them over real good.
Mayor, if you get out of this, I want you to look up the word diplomacy. The funny thing here is this. If you picked up both concussion charges from the armory earlier, Devlin just walks straight back out again, saving you a fetch quest. And I like that they give you the option to do it that way. But really, who plays a point-and-click adventure game and doesn't try to pick up every object with a name label? So Devlin goes and bombs the lab, murdering everybody inside. It's just been that kind of day. Anyway, remember that bug with the captain's corpse that renders you unable to move? The exact same shitting thing happens when you talk to La Paz here. She's not even dead! It wouldn't be so bad if her husband Lo here didn't tell you.
My wife is a senior officer here now. I think you should let her make the decisions.
So the game deliberately drives you towards a game-breaking burger! So off we go to loot the corpses, check for survivors, of which there is one. Turns out they discovered the shape-shifting aliens in the asteroid.
Hundreds of them, buried in the rock.
How many did you revive?
Well...
How many are loose?
Hang on.
How many?
Damn it, Devlin, let the woman talk. She's not got long left. Too late.
What happened?
Well, some crazy bitch told me to bomb the place and hey! Devlin, having no official authority and is not even meant to be on the station, orders evacuation. But Mayor points out the shuttle's nav comp is still wiped. It's here that La Paz reveals, get this, that a backup is implanted in the pilot's head. You couldn't just keep it on disk somewhere. The pilot has to undergo surgery to keep their secret safe. Ignoring the fact that she could be captured and just have it ripped out of her skull, no encrypted disk that's useless without a password, I'm not sure that's even the dumbest thing in the game, but by God, that has to make the top 5. You go to get the chip and nip over to the shuttle, only for Mayor to tell you it's booby-trapped as part of the captain's plan to kill you. I guess when he came down to kill you in the armory, he'd just got antsy. Mayor gets to work defusing the bomb, and Devlin heads off to fetch the others.
The shuttle was booby-trapped.
So what will we do in the meantime?
Well, we should probably go hide from the loose shapeshifters. Some kind of secure location until the bomb is safely defused.
Go hunting.
I already mentioned this guy got his entire old crew killed. The plan is to hunt down Waterman and kill him with a fluid developed by Megami Hudson, which I'm now going to call magic acid, because it dissolves the cells of the shapeshifters but is harmless to humans. You grab the net from the basketball court and drape it over this door in the gardens. Then you get to use La Paz as bait!
I'm melting! Oh, what a world!
Get back to the shuttle and Mayor tells you that Lo was a shapeshifter and that he's still on the loose. Devlin surmises that he'll go for the laser cannon to prevent them leaving, but...
If the station is set to self-destruct, 30 seconds before detonation, all systems go offline, including the cannon. If I can get to the control center and start the countdown, the shuttle can get clear.
That didn't occur to the two people that have actually been on this station before? Hell, maybe Devlin should be in charge. So he goes to the control room, sets the countdown and heads back, but he finds that the countdown was overridden before he even got there.
This self-destruct's been overridden.
Mayor, what would happen if I set the self-destruct on and then destroyed the override switch?
Good plan. I mean, that would only have occurred to anybody who'd actually used that item before and saw the place verb. You know, everybody who's already played this game. But do they let you plant a mine the first time? Do they fuck? Alright, back we go then. Set self-destruct, place mine, new camera angle, rubbish explosion effect, Devlin running animation, last minute swearing.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
And they leave at last, off into the expanse to contemplate the ethical quandaries of corporate espionage, interfering with unknown species of... Well, no, wait, the game just ends there. Fuck's sake, did Obsidian make this or something? So that's the Orion Conspiracy, a tale of the hurt of losing loved ones, and how your response to that pain helps define you as a person. Also aliens. But, one question. What was the conspiracy? Was it the captain getting revenge on Devlin for the loss of his wife? Megami Hudson secretly reviving an unknown alien species? Or the aliens themselves infiltrating society via shapeshifting? If anything, it should have been called the Orion Conspiracies. And that's where the game fails in my opinion. It's not the worst ever, no by any means. And I do appreciate it was trying to do some things differently. But the things you don't do differently, you have to do well. You have to do them right. Like having a title that makes sense, although once you've got their money that doesn't matter so much. And maybe not directing players straight into the path of a motherfucking game-breaking bug. And remember, this was during the heyday of LucasArts. You had the stiffest competition you're probably ever going to see. And if you weren't going to step up to that, you were destined to be forgotten. So there you have it. The reasons to play it back in the day were swearing and FMV. Reasons to play it nowadays, nostalgia and masochism. Confuses the fuck out of me. Good night.
The one good thing about automated systems, you can confuse the fuck out of them.